Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Yeah, we got a big week ahead, guys. As the title says today, massive macro week ahead of us coming up. But yeah, right now, market's getting a little bit of a move to the upside. S&P, not so much. Massive gap down on the TradFi side, but we called. We told you where to watch. There's this zone right here. I even put the box on here last week for you and said, this is the line in the sand. We've got to get a bounce here. If not, we're heading down to here, which is about $95,000 Bitcoin. This area here, coming off of that 21-week SMA, 20-week EMA, aka the bull market support band, and the daily dynamic reactor from Chart Prime laying right in the top of that beautifully. So, guys, if you got in on that, if you bought your buy-ins yesterday, your DCAs, which I did, I bought yesterday. I said, you know what? I'm taking advantage of this 107 range. I'm going to pick this up. Did our DCA drops yesterday? We added ton. We added 4 new tokens also to the altcoin DCA. So, guys. If you got in on all that and you are picking all that up on the DCA Monday drop, congrats to you guys. That was the level to watch. You guys know what time it is. It's time to do this. Let's get it. Class is in session. Take your seats. Shout out to the Otter gang. Let's go. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us here on the Morning Market Report, guys. We're going to break down some data today. Stock market not doing so hot this morning, getting a pretty big gap down, but the crypto market starting to get a little bit of a rally. I'll tell you what else is rallying. It's gold, it's silver, and the bonds market. So I've got a nice article that we're going to go over, talks about why the Wall Street is a little bit concerned right now about September. But overall, guys, the charts are telling us everything we need to know. And so we're going to go break all of that down for you guys. Shout out to all of the otters in the chat right now. Mad rush of the otters running into the room. But let's go ahead and bring up my co-host and get this show on the road, man. OC, what's up, man? Good morning. How was your long weekend? How you feeling today about the markets? Give it to us.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just so happy right now. We, in fact, have an ongoing trade with Bitcoin. We have a double bottom pattern. We should be right now taking some profits and going to the dynamic reactor. I'm pretty happy to be Tuesday.
Yeah,
That's
Tuesday.
how happy I am.
It's the new Monday. Tuesday's the new Monday. You know how it is. OC, let's go ahead and jump over. Let's take a quick snapshot of where are we right now with Bitcoin, and then we'll do the higher time frame breakdown here in a little bit. I'm watching a CME gap. I'm going to show that here in a little while also. But what do you got on the charts for us? What's Bitcoin doing right now? What do you think it's going to be doing here this morning on this market open news?
Absolutely. So let's just get started where we left out, right? So this was the idea of the trade. So basically coming a little bit lower in here. So we planned for a 1/4 of an entry right here where we open our position, and then going heavily on the other side, a 3/4 of an entry right here, a little bit lower in between that confluence, right? So let's see how that played out. So far, we entered for that trade, went up, went a little bit back down here, nothing to worry about, and then it blew up just as today. So we should be right now on a 1/4 of position of an entry, right, waiting to hit some rejection in here at dynamic reactor, and I would say like getting ready to take some profits. If you haven't, this is a fantastic area to take some profits. I will be taking 50% out as soon as I can, and well, then moving my stop to entry. These left 3/4 are going back into my wallet for maybe a re-entry or a continuation trade. Let's zoom out just a little bit, or just go to a cleaner charting here. Let's go to the 4 hours, and this is the same double bottom that we have, and we are still in a downtrend, right? Important is that we're getting very close to breaking a trend line. I mean, we can go over this trend line like this, thinking that maybe, and let me just push this a little bit higher. There we go. That this was a little bit of a fake out, hitting this top, having this other as a fake out, getting very close to this area, and then of course going over this top. So right now we have our first area, or our first pattern for a reversal, which is a double bottom. And after that double bottom, we need to have a breakout, go into dynamic reactor. I would say retest, create a higher low, and that is going to be your next re-entry for then taking the meaningful in previous highs and lows. So this is going to be the decisive point to then get to the next target at 117. But you mentioned that we're having right now a fair value gap, right? Or a CME gap, you mentioned, right?
CME gap. CME gap. Yep, it's happening. I'm going to go over that here in just a little bit, but I will tell you, it's pretty up there. It's pretty up there. The price target on that is a little bit higher than we are now, let me tell you. But let's go ahead and jump in on the news. I want to break down the news stuff real fast. We'll come back. We'll start breaking down the charts, talk about this higher time frame. We'll do some top-down analysis on Bitcoin, and then take a look at some alts. But shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Appreciate you guys all being here. You are why I get up in the morning and do this show. That's right. And so I appreciate the gang being here too. If you guys haven't done so, smash the likes up. Appreciate you guys.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Facts. All right, let's jump over to the news. Let's talk about what we're seeing here on the metrics, guys. Crypto market cap risk indicators right now, looking at 31.5% overall risk level, meaning we still have some upside move in this market. Highest on here is the orange chain. It's at 52.9%. It's in neutral. It's a higher end of neutral. Looking at the price action at 41%, it's at the low end of neutral. So overall risk indicators looking pretty good. Looking at the total crypto market cap right now, sitting at $3.827 trillion. The trend line on this is sitting at $4.294 trillion, and we are currently undervalued about 10.89%. Just sitting underneath that median, guys, sitting underneath it. Looking at the current risk levels on Bitcoin, when we put out the DCA Piper plan yesterday, we were at like 52%, something like that. We're at 53.3%, still sitting in that same range of DCA levels though. Bitcoin dominance. We are starting to see a tick back up here on Bitcoin dominance, guys, with stablecoin sitting at 57.7%, without stable 62.2% when you take away all the stables. So Bitcoin dominance breaking back up above that 61% and continuing to move to the upside. Overall, guys, according to Ben Cowan, if you guys saw his most recent show, he actually talked about that the Bitcoin dominance was about to make its last leg up move, and that we would see the alts underperform compared to Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. Ben Cowan been pretty spot on this year. Looking at the alt season index right now, guys, we're at 59.57%. We just went from 61 to 59 in the flip of a screen there. What I'm watching on here for this is for it to get up into the red box. This is what we consider alt season, 75%. Currently, right now, we are neither in Bitcoin nor altcoin season. Altcoins with an ROI, return on investment, greater than Bitcoin is at 28, less than Bitcoin at 21 out of the top 50 cryptos. Let's move over here and take a look at the fear and greed index. I think I should have a new Bitcoin fear and greed index now. I do. 39 minutes ago. Let's go back and put that in there. I'll refresh that. Can I get a refresh? Thanks. There we go. Perfect. Bitcoin right now sitting at 49 in the neutral zone. It was the same 5 hours ago. Guess we didn't really need to change it out. Ethereum Fear and Greed Index also sitting at 49, both in neutral. And then, of course, Michael Saylor, guys, did some more acquisition of Bitcoin. Strategy acquired 4,048 Bitcoin and achieves a Bitcoin yield of 25.7% year to date. They now hold 636,505 Bitcoin. Total liquidations in the past 24 hours coming in at 143,376 traders getting liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $426.58 million. Largest single liquidation order happened on Binance. It was the Ethereum trade for $9.8 million on a single trade, man. Who are these people? One of these days, I'm going to find one of them. I'm going to go, is that you? Did you really lose $9 million on a single trade? Have you ever heard of risk management? Can I recommend maybe joining the Alexo Discord and learn about risk management, because they're crushing the trades over there. So also, JR, we'll give you a one-on-one for $100 with JR. If you are the guy that lost that $9 million, we'll do $100 for 30 minutes with JR. He'll teach you about risk management. So he's dropping those amazing trades. It's Monday. It's not Monday. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, Alex. The OG shirt was worn yesterday. I'm sorry. I don't even have the OG mug. OG Mondays. I guess next week I owe you like a double whammy of OG days next week. I'll do it like Monday and Friday next week for you, Alex.
OG for orange juice. Let's go.
No. That's J. The letter you don't have in the the letter you don't have in the Mexican alphabet, J. That's what orange juice is. OC, love you, man. All right, guys. OC from the back room over there. Over there in the crypto bubbles, guys. On the hourly, we're seeing a lot of green. On the daily, still a mix of red. Guys, look at right there, right there. That is World Liberty Finance. Alex said this morning, if you had put $1,000 in World Liberty Finance when it launched this weekend, you'd have $10 right now. You want to know the quickest way to be a millionaire? Be a billionaire and buy that token right there, and you will become a millionaire overnight. Looking at this total right now, guys, Bitcoin up 1.7% on the daily right now, sitting at 111,000. Ethereum down on the daily still, but making a return rally in the past hour, riding up that momentum of Bitcoin leading the way at 1.6% on the hourly. XRP is up 1.9% on the daily, up 1.4 on the hourly, sitting at 282. Let's go see what the big movers are here on the daily, of any. Looks like Bitcoin Cash is up 5.4%. That's not bad. $575 there on that up move. And that's about it. I mean, Chronos is down 4.8% on the daily. That's rounding out the top 20. It was at number 16. It's all the way down at number 20 now. So it's lost 4 spots there since last Friday when we were on here. But overall, market kind of flat right now. We are getting a rally, but that was after a pretty harsh pullback overnight. So looking at the TradFi side of the world, guys, Dow Jones is down about 0.6% right now. The S&P is down about 0.85%, and NASDAQ down almost a full percent at 0.99. Nope, there it is. There's your 1% on the NASDAQ. Russell 2K down 0.75%. And the VIX above 17, that's the threshold to watch. Anything above 17, you're getting into volatility. This is the volatility index, and so it tells you how much volatility is going on in the market, up 11.54% today. We are seeing a lot of volatility. Europe markets overnight, all in the red. Asia markets overnight, all in the red except for Japan. The Nikkei coming in 0.3% higher at closing. Guys, the bonds market, this is starting to get a little pump up. Not a whole lot here. It's only 0.041 points, but it's up. It's sitting at 4.267, making a return back to 4.3. And there's some news coming out that this may actually even go higher. We're seeing some rates coming in on the 20-year and 30-year, pumping to the upside right now. Treasury yields jump on the prospect of the U.S. having to refund tariff money. The 30-year yield was pushing on 5% there, guys, what I was talking about. So we're going to talk about this in an article here in a minute. Looking at the energy sector, everything is in the green except for red. Natural gas, it's down about 2.84% today. And then gold, sitting above $3,500. It's at $3,553. New all-time high on gold. Silver sitting at $40.79. New all-time high on silver. I believe it's an all-time high on silver. I'm pretty sure it is. I will look at that, but I know gold is. Copper right now sitting to the downside at $4.53, down about 0.1%. But platinum and palladium both in the green today, up about 1.93% and 1.33% for platinum and palladium relative to what the order I spoke it in. Let's go over here and take a look at this market, guys. Dow Jones falls 500 points. I want to refresh this, because this is a lot. There you go. 250. We did get a little resurgence this morning. The Dow falls 250 points to kick off September on tariff worries, rising bond yields, live updates. I just wanted to read the headline. I'm not going to go too deep into it because this is what is the better article to talk about this. What should concern investors going into this typically tough month for markets? 4 things that you need to know about. August was very good for Wall Street. September may be the opposite. S&P 500 climbed to a fresh record last month, topping over 6,500 points for the first time. The benchmark posted its 4th straight winning month, rising nearly 2%. Dow Jones and NASDAQ also reached all-time highs last month. But Tuesday, the first trading day, that's today. That's today, if you don't know. Not Monday, not OG Monday, Alex. I'm sorry. I love you, bro. The first trading day of September is shaping up to be a tough one as investors grapple with the laundry list of worries for the month. Number 1, possible tariff revenue loss. And this is what we were just talking about on the bond yields. If you guys don't know about this, this happened on Friday right at market close. Convenient, right? Hey, 3-day weekend, extended closing of Wall Street. Oh, by the way, here's some news on Friday at the market close. The core congressional power to impose taxes, such as tariffs, is vested exclusively in the legislative branch by the Constitution. The court said tariffs are a core congressional power. This is not just a blow to Trump politically. The ruling also raises questions over whether the money already collected from tariffs will have to be returned, potentially worsening the already fragile U.S. fiscal situation. If this ruling is upheld, refunds of existing tariffs are on the table, which could cause a surge in Treasury issuance and yields, wrote Ed Mills of Raymond James. And so this is all coming off of a judge saying that the tariffs were illegal for Trump to initiate. So that's what that's on. The U.S. tariff uncertainty drove Treasury yields higher. The 30-year bond spiked to 4.99%, near levels not seen since mid-July. The benchmark 10-year note yield traded nearly 8 basis points higher at 4.3. Rates abroad are also climbing. Concerns over the United Kingdom's budget sent the 10-year gilt yield, that's the yield Treasury bonds for the UK, to its highest level since 1998, according to the Deutsche Bank. France's 10-year yield spiked to 3.6. So it's not just us. We're seeing this across the board, guys, touching a level not seen in more than a decade, and the country faces a no confidence vote. France's economy is in big trouble right now. Should yields around the world keep moving higher, they could pressure the stock market, making bond income more attractive and raising the cost of capital for businesses. A new wave of sovereign risk is washing over European economies, with the UK and France the most vulnerable as they navigate fiscal fragility, political instability, and cratering bond market confidence. And we're right behind them on that front, just so you guys know. Fed drama. Also, we got the whole Lisa Cook thing. Wall Street this month also has to contend with Trump's administration efforts to oust Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve. She's her post there as the Federal Reserve Governor. Cook requested a temporary restraining order to halt Trump from firing her, but a court hearing in Washington, D.C. last week ended without a ruling on the matter, so that's still ongoing. And then seasonality and job reports, which is the massive macro data that I said is coming this week, guys. Investors also have to navigate seasonal headwinds with major economic report due out this week. Data from the Stock Traders Almanac shows the S&P averages about 0.7% decline in September normally, making it historically the worst month of the year. For downside move over this just the past 5 years, the S&P September performance has been the worst, averaging a 4.2% decline in that stretch. The second half, September, is the worst 2-week period of the year. So the second half, the 15th through the 30th, is this worst period of the year with an average return of negative 1.38, looking all the way back to 1928, guys. So, however, the first half of September is more moderate, smaller chop, which we're seeing a lot of that right now. Volatility index moving to the upside. We believe this will dictate this month's early trading, due in large part to current positioning. But on top of that, August U.S. jobs report is set for release this Friday. Economists polled by Dow Jones expect a gain of 75,000 jobs last month, slightly above the 73,000 gain reported for July. However, the number will have to be in the Goldilocks range. Just right, not right, too hot, too cold, just was perfect, right? Goldilocks range of not too hot, not too cold for the market to like it. If it's too strong, it may tamp down expectations for a Fed rate cut. If it's too weak, it'll raise concerns about the state of the economy. So a lot of data coming out this week that we need to keep our eye on, guys. Today, we did get ISM manufacturing came out at the top of the hour right when we went live. And this is showing that we came in at 48.7. We were at 48, expected to be 49 to 48.2, beating the forecast, coming in line just under the consensus. I would call this neutral, no shock and awe here at all. What else do we have here? JOLTS job openings report looking like it's either going to be lower or even more lower. That's coming in tomorrow. This is going to be at 9 a.m. right at market open tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we're going to get initial jobless claims. This is your weekly unemployment filings. Right now expected to be higher or much higher. Again, stagflation much. And then the ISM services PMI coming in, and that's expected to be neutral to flat. So Friday though, non-farm payrolls 73, expected to be 75. Guys, if this comes in below 73, could be a lot of volatility. Again, if this comes in very high, like in the 80s, would be very bad. Also, would cause a shock and awe on the market. So Friday, all eyes on this report, and then unemployment rate expected to be possibly higher unemployment in the United States. So this is all coming out on Friday. We're going to keep an eye on it. What are the chances of a Fed rate cut right now? Taking a look at that, we're going to jump over here and look at September. Hashtag flashbang. Shout out to Alex O. 91.7% chance right now that we get a rate cut in September. 25 basis points is what is on the table for that. That's it. Let's go over here. OC, big week ahead of us, bro. What are your thoughts on these jobs? Are we going to get this? Is Friday going to be a pump or a dump? If someone said, hey, OC, Friday, pump or dump, what would your answer be?
Oh man, you're getting me against the chords here. That is a little bit of a I don't know, of a difficult choice to say it, but I'm gonna go for a dump. Not only because we're going for a low volume area, but also because of today's hype. Usually Monday, it's kind of like giving you a hype in here, and depending on Tuesday, how the direction of the market is going to be. And I'm guessing that Tuesday might be a little bit lower than we could be expecting, a little ranging up above where we are right now, and then it pumping down through the weekend. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know. What would you say? Pump or dump?
I think that we get some bad job numbers. Actually, let me rephrase that. I think that we get job numbers that are neutral or just under the bad line, okay? Meaning lower than expected. But I don't think that it's enough to scare the markets off. I think that we get a pullback and it's a fake out, and then we get another pump, honestly. I do think we're going to go and close that CME gap. Shout out to BC Port Corp. He said Western countries are screwed. Don't disagree with you. All the people in the chat, man. Shout out to Alexander G, Steve Hickey, Trade Intuition, K Diggity, 10-year guilt. Yeah, that's another way to say it. Post, appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. Who else we got in here? We got BC Port Corp in the house with us. Melissa's in here. JR from our trade community. Love it, man. Little Fish, appreciate all of you guys being here in the chat. Awesome. Appreciate you. Let's go over here and talk about this chart, OC. I want to go talk about this. Let's take a look at this CME gap, not a fair value gap, OC, CME gap. Looking here at the BTC1 exclamation point. This is what I'm talking about here. Guys, we have the top of the CME gap that was formed on August 22nd. It's coming in at about 116,900. Let's go to the daily and you'll see this much more clear. This was our market close here on Friday, August 22nd. We opened up Monday morning here, and then we had a drop. We did clean out a little bit of that CME gap here on last week on Thursday, but as of right now, this top side of this gap from August 22nd coming in about 116.8. I am going to be expecting to see that this will likely get closed at some point. Maybe a swing fail pattern, come up a little bit higher and then come down lower, because when you look at this on something like a weekly, that would be nothing more than what? What would it be? That would be just a higher low, setting us up for a lower low. So that's what I'm watching there on the CME gap. If you guys weren't tracking that, you might want to throw it on your chart. But let's talk about what we saw here last week. We talked about this level here. There we go. And I said this is the range you got to watch right here, guys. This is going to be where we're looking at is going to be the bull market support band and the daily dynamic reactor here. It's got a little bit of it's got volume in it, right? So it's measuring some volume on top of the moving average data that it pulls from, the source data. We held it. This was the line in the sand. I said if we didn't hold this, we would likely be heading down to the 52-week simple moving average. Right now, we are holding in this box. And I want to show you guys, if you look here this weekend, we held in the box all weekend. That's your 4-hour candles from the entire weekend right there in the box. Didn't really go anywhere. You had a nice, easy weekend. Hey, there's my top side. There's my bottom side. Oh, hey, sir, you're going to go back. I need to lock that. Thank you very much. You had just upside, top side and downside for range trading if you wanted to. But overall, it stayed very steady and gave us a weekend to just enjoy the family and friends for Labor Day. And now we have broken out of it. One last bounce test there in that daily dynamic reaction react to. That's that line right there coming in, and we got that bounce out of there. So looking pretty good there. The one thing that I will point out is come back over here. Let's talk about levels here, because you can see that 116.8, right? That's coming in about right here. Let's draw a line there on that. Right in here is that 116.8, right? This range here. Well, oddly enough, I talked about a swing fail pattern to the upside on that on the higher time frame, right? What would that put us at? That would put us back into the golden pocket at 117 to 117.5. I also talked about that this range down here, the 50% fib, which is a 1.5, because this is these are phase extensions of a trend-based fib. And I said, guys, if we hit a 50 from the top and bounce on it, that's typically bullish. We had a double bottom there, actually a swing fail pattern, if you really want to get technical about it, to the downside, bouncing off that 50 and up we go. If this continues to move up and we don't get a swing fail pattern here with the rejection on the platinum pocket at 114.8, I think that will be setting us up for a move to the golden pocket here, swing fail pattern off of this area, and then down we go from there for another low run. But right now, that would close the CME gap. That is the target that I'm watching for, is 115 first, and then 117 for our second level. That would be the golden pocket there. Money flow is coming back to the upside a little bit here now. We are seeing the oscillator ribbon giving us a print of bullish divergence on the daily. So don't expect, a blow off, new record high coming necessarily, but I do think that we will go and close that CME gap, and then I'll watch and reassess at that point, where are we at here on the chart. But overall, guys, these levels here, even if we have this pullback, and we've talked about this, a pullback off of weekly swing fail patterns typically have about a 20% move. There is that 52-week SMA. That would be the range that I would watch if we do have a, pump up, get that liquidity, and come back down the lower. That's coming in right around $96,000 right now. That would be the level that I would watch. And if we get a bounce off of that, you can see what's happened historically with that on the weekly. Actually, this is the 5-day. You see right there, bounce, all of that upside move, bounce, had a retest there, but not lower, and an upside move. So that's the levels that I'm going to be watching for here. Again, coming in at about $95 to $96,000. And then again, that CME gap sitting at about 117.5. So 117.8, I think it is. 116.8, 116.8. Sorry. So yeah, that's what I'm watching there on the charts. OC. It's pretty nice that we did get that bounce right off that 50, and we held the line in the sand all weekend long. So we told them 2 weeks ago about that. So if you guys got in on that, shout out to the alumni. Appreciate all of you guys. OC, how are we looking on alts, man? Let's talk about the altcoins and see what's going on over there, because Ben Cowan, he's talking about a last final leg of Bitcoin dominance, and he bases that on the fact that Bitcoin leads the rallies, and so Bitcoin could get one more rally in before the end of cycle. By the way, on that front, I do want to point out, according to this, I'm going to pull it up here and then I'll bring it on screen. There we go. Nope, not you. You, sir, that's the one I want right there. Pull that up, put it on. Good Lord, where is it? Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay, cool. Well, there. Come over here, put this on the weekly, and then put on the Bitcoin halving cycles. There we go. Profit-taking lines, build. Fill it out for me. That's looking like November 3rd. There you go. November 3rd is the end of the cycle based on historical metrics of when these all kick off. You can see that's almost been in line with the tops of every cycle. So November 3rd, not that far off. Matter of fact, I need to go in here and put on the date range, because we now have made a new weekly close. So we're about 63 days away from this, looking at that. So September, if we have that pullback, and then October, November, we get our rallies. I'm thinking that that Bitcoin dominant cycle could be, I think Ben Cowan could be absolutely 100% correct. Well, we'll call it 95% correct, that we might be getting into that final run of Bitcoin dominance before we wash out for the cycle, if the 4-year cycle is still intact. OC, let's kick it over to you. Let's see what you're seeing on alts. Is Bitcoin going to lead the way, and what will happen with alts depending on Bitcoin? What do you got for us?
Absolutely. So let's go and do a top-down analysis in here. I got a couple of alerts, but let's go over this one. Let's get started with hashtag F Ethereum. So we were looking at an interest zone in here for a possible bounce. It did play it out with something here, not a trade, but it did move. And then, well, right now we're making a double bottom on Ethereum. That is something interesting because we also have a triple bullish divergence right down here, but we just don't see that flip of the ribbon really trying to break through that zero line. That is a little concerning. So for me, I need to wait for a breakout or at least taking of these highs in here. And as you can see, I do have a little bit of an alert. Let's move a little bit lower, and that is to be in line with these lows right here and these highs up here. That will definitely create a higher high, breaking the neckline, maybe coming back down, and then a continuation upwards. So far, this kind of candles are pushing the right way. I mean, that is liquidity down below being absorbed. And well, along with that bullish divergence, I think we're on our way up. We still need to wait for confirmation. Let me add the rest of my indicators just to confirm that I'm on the right tracking here. So let's get it. Did we hit on support? Yes, we are right there on support. Do we have some resistance as well? Our resistance seems to be a little bit higher. And for that, let me just get rid of everything here, and mostly everything, so we can see through a couple of things. And we have a liquidity zone. This is the liquidity zone that we need to overcome or overtake to then start going or thinking about breaking the neckline of this double bottom. But so far, it's looking very, very good. I mean, we can still do something like that and then come back out and then hit it off. So, you know what? Thinking it once again, let's go and do it right on the neckline. That way, once we're on the neckline, I can come back down and see, all right, if I'm above my zero line, I will be longing this area. So I have a break of structure or a change of character set up in here, most likely change of character. And well, then above being above that zero line might give me the retest that I could be looking for, and then heading back up to TP number one, 4,645, in TP number two, 4,787 ish, around that area. Let me just bring up a couple of other stuff, like for example, my order blocks in here, and I just have a huge order block at the top, pulling the price action towards it. So it wouldn't surprise me that we actually go to that area. On my VRVP, let's just bring it up here on screen. Well, we do have a rejection area right here, ranging area right there, and no smart money entries where I could be relying for the next support. Well, these ones right here, they could be a good area to for a possible reentry. But right here, I mean, despite this still a pretty good zone, well, we're having that double bottom. So first, we need to wait for the movement on this candle. Nevertheless, I'm gonna add another alert right here at the 50% of that box, or half of that box, just to maybe go into a possible Ethereum long if we get there. XRP, all right, XRP almost hit our alert right here, but it created some sweep of the lows, double bottom, and right now we're going for a breakout of a trend line. Let me just get rid of that. It actually drew a trend line like this. All right, so we're having a breakout of the trend line. I would consider going to the next resistance, which is that this huge order block into the center of it, something like that. Coming back for a retest, maybe going to this golden line that we have in here, and then finally hitting it off above that dynamic reactor, somewhere in between 291 and 295. I think that will be a good area to go for it. Nonetheless, I'm still going to be waiting for that retracement, so I'm not going to be longing this area right here. Not for now, because we are on a loud order block and we're still bearish. Despite this looks a lot like this party here, like I mean, strip of the lows and then breakthrough and change of the character. Well, then we still need wait for some confirmation. I was looking also at Stellar. Stellar kind of like a follows along what XRP does. And as you can see here, we were expecting a macro. Let's go to daily here. A macro flag to play it out in here. We are right now on the dynamic reactor. So on daily, this could be a good entry if you're willing to hold it, maybe all the way down here, because we're just having that flip of the ribbon. The target from here would be at this stop right here where we have the loud order block, bearish loud order block, and then aiming for one last run down. Let's go back to the 4 hours because we are flat in here, all right? We're going above that zero line and we're not moving. So this still not cool, all right? We can still go all the way down to the next liquidity zone where we point at 0.30. So, I mean, we already looking at other more important coins. So I'd rather go for this area. Let me just push a little bit higher here in case we hit it. Well, then that will be a very nice entry for Stellar. Let's go check out BNB. All right, BNB, it's a little bit of a weirdo one because we're having a lot of loud order blocks right down below, but we are not bouncing strongly. All right, let me just clear this up so we can see through the mess. And right here, well, we're flatting out with a very nice downwards trend line. But that's not it. I mean, we also have right here an upward trend line. So we are creating a symmetrical triangle. That symmetrical triangle starting right from here and being this one right there. Yes, we have a flip of the ribbon, but seems like we want to roll over, roll back down, something like in here, and maybe have some sweep of the lows. So what I'm going to be going for, it is adding a clone to this area right here, give myself a little bit of that buffering zone, lock it, and finally create an alert on it. The same thing I'm going to be doing for the top line. I'm going to clone it, give myself that buffering zone right there, and then finally lock it and create an alert from it. I'm very interested on what BNB is going to be doing because this is directly representing on what Binance is holding on to. All right, so I do want to keep tracking it and do want to trade it because as you can see before, well, then it has a history of big and violent moves, which is pretty good when we want to make some cash, right? Finally, let's go over Solana. Solana, we should be already out of our last trade that played out very nicely. We were expecting to go all the way up here for a reversal. We fall a little bit short from it, but right now we are on a support on the dynamic reactor. Despite we didn't hit the very top of this, we did went into that area and rejected out of one of our trend lines here that we were looking into. And right now we are on the support zone. I would rather wait for one hit off in here to this area, rejection, create a higher low, and that will be our entry for then an actual breakout of that zero line. But so far, that's what I got on Altcoins, Piper. Let me throw it back to you.
Awesome. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, one thing I am watching right now, OC, I'm watching Bitcoin is approaching on its 4-hour dynamic reactor. And you can see we had a little bit of play on it several times here. If we get up here and we start to get a rejection after this 1-to-1, that's a $113,000 range, guys. That might be a setup for a short entry, but keep in mind, I am thinking that we do close the CME gap sometime this week, so I don't know how long I would hold that trade. Appreciate everyone that joined us here today, guys. I got to hop out early because I got to take my car over for an oil change in Mesquite, Texas. So, got to head out of here early, but I appreciate everyone here. We're about to redirect over to Crypto Princess. She's in a premiere video right now. So when you guys get over there, drop the graduation caps, drop the otters, let them know that the OGs and the alumni have kicked in the door and we have walked into the princess's house. Tell her it's tea time. It's tea time. Till next time, guys. Appreciate you. Make sure you guys tune in to OC, Trade Live with OC tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then tomorrow morning, I think BC might be back on with Good Morning Crypto, but we will definitely be back at 10 a.m. showing you guys what's going on with this macro data, giving you guys the headlines, the news, and everything you need to have knowledge because knowledge is profit. Until next time, guys, trade safe, use some risk management. Peace, love, and profits. We're out.
That's the rap. Chart stack data never lie. Piper led the mission, OC in the sky. Spaghetti on the screen, but the vision stay prime. Chart prime visual signals on time. Alumni strong, we built from the grind. Lessons in the market that'll outlive time. Knowledge is profit, you know how we run. Till the next one, stay sharp, get it done.
Emotional damage.
We'll see you at the next
Don't
one.
know what the fuck they're doing.
Morning market report out, 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 out.
Boom shakalaka.
We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report out. We'll see you at the next one. Morning market report. Ow.
That was awesome, dude.
Hey, it didn't break. What else you got?